I'm back here in Morning Light, and my render sequence has finished. If I look in my project directory, I can go to Images and I will see a file folder for each of my AOVs. So that's what beauty looks like. There's direct, and there's my indirect. That's great. Knowing that, I am all set to go ahead into my compositing program. I am going to be using Adobe After Effects. I don't know how conversant all of you are with After Effects, so I'm going to try to go through this fairly slowly. Before I get started working with the files that I exported out of Maya, the first thing that I want to do is go into the After Effects preferences, because After Effects and Maya have one slight difference of opinion that is very important. So Edit, Preferences, Import. In the import, After Effects is set to bring in sequence footage at 30 frames per second, but Maya animates at 24 frames per second, so I want to pull everything in at 24 frames per second. That's it. That's the only thing I'm doing in the preferences. I will say OK right here. Next, I can go to File, Import, File, or I can use the shortcut key Control-I. All I need to do is find my project directory. I put mine on my messy, horrible desktop. There it is, Lighting 01, Still Life, then Images, and for the moment I will pull in Beauty. To do this, I'm going to click on the first frame, just the 001 frame. Down at the bottom, there's this button that says PNG Sequence. That means that After Effects will pull the rest of the images in numerically for me, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. I will say Import, and After Effects imports this over here in my project bin. I can see that it's coming in. It's 2 seconds long, 24 frames per second, 960 by 540, millions of colors. Lovely. I'm just going to drag that down here, and it will create a thing called a composition for me. In the composition, I can scrub through and I can see the way that the camera moves. Perfect. Just what I was hoping for. And now that I'm in After Effects, I can add some post-production pieces. If I right-click here in my timeline, you'll see that I have the ability to add effects. I can do things like add color correction, and I think that we'll stick with that for now. I will put a levels effect on here, and that's going to allow me to do things like say, this is still too pink. Maybe what I want to do is go into my green levels and boost that mid-tone a little bit to make it a little bit more yellow. Effects in After Effects are vector-based, so I can turn this on and off to see if I like it or not. I think once it has the green, it becomes a little bit too bright, so maybe I will pull in a little bit of my darker ranges, and maybe I like that better than what I rendered out of Maya. Whether you add these effects or not is up to you, and I'm going to put together a second video where I go through a few more compositing tricks that you can use. For the moment, once you've got your piece into After Effects, that's great. I will pause here, and in my next video, I will render out of After Effects.